Hey! My very first ever live. Very first ever live. Well, as I said, and as the title says, welcome to Lucore Live. We wanted to do this as kind of a thing to allow people to interact with us. We have the little chat bar over on the side. If you want to put questions or anything in there, comments, whatever, we will have a Q&A session at the end of this so that you guys can interact with us, give us some feedback as far as what we talk about in the video. Anything you guys want to talk about, drop it over there in the comment section, and I will try to address it. So anyway, with that said, welcome to Lucore Automotive Services. I am Austin. You have seen me emceeing a large portion of what we do here at Lucore Automotive. I guess we would consider it the marketing manager here at Lucore Automotive. The other gentleman you see is Rich. He is actually the owner of this building, also the master wrench, and generally the guy that wears all of the different hats in this place. So I get paid to be the smiling face of the business, handle customer stuff, do all of the fun white glove stuff, and Rich does all the dirty work for the most part. We also do have Derek, who you've seen as well. He was in the most recent AMC video where we were tearing apart that 289 or the 2.8 Ford Capri video, not AMC video, unedited. So it is what it is. The other gentleman we have here is Dave. He runs the front desk. If you call and talk to anybody at the shop, typically speaking, he's the guy that's going to answer the phone. And then we also have Bruce, who is a font of knowledge and old school grouchy mechanic from West Virginia that knows amazing amounts of things and is incredible feature of our team. So that's all of us here at Lucore Automotive. For those of you who are ever wondering, that's who it is. So anyway, let's get on to the subject of why I wanted to do a Lucore Live episode. Yes, and I also do Santa Claus, which you'll see a little bit more of here shortly. Anyway, so topic number one, as it says in the description, want to thank you so much, all of you who have made this incredible 2021 happen. When we went into 2021, we were at, I think, just shy of 5,000 subscribers, which took us a long time to get to. I think it was like a year and a half to get to 5,000. And our goal year end was to get to 10,000 subscribers, which is a pretty healthy growth. As you can see right now, we're at 21,000 subscribers, and we owe that to a couple of major things. We partnered up with quite a few people in this past year that have helped us grow by us working with them and then working with us featuring their vehicles, that kind of thing. So that's been a huge thing for us. We've done a little bit more events than we really wanted, or we were really able to do in 2020. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed coming along to that stuff, like the PRI show where we took you guys along for that, the Mopar Nationals. We didn't get to do a 2020 2500 road trip this year. But then obviously the crazy road trips all the way up to North Dakota for the SRC motor. And then, as you just saw, down to Delaware to go pick up Matt's transmission for the DNR Auto. So over the year, we've had a lot of people we've been able to partner with. And then obviously we want to mention the fact that Junkyard Digs with the Capri purchase did amazing things for our channel here. And it's really allowed us to go to the next level as far as what we're concerned and in channel growth goes. We weren't really expecting anything like what we've seen this year. We set a pretty healthy goal, and it's really all you guys and people that watch this that really got us to where we are, and have made 2021 a way more successful year on the side of YouTube than we really ever expected it to be. So thank you all very, 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 very much. It's all thanks to each one of you guys, the people that watch these videos, that click on the like button, that drop comments, that subscribe. It's been phenomenal growth. I would love to say that we can double our channel again in 2022. We have a lot of great stuff coming up in 2022, but I don't know. That's a pretty aggressive growth angle, but I don't know, 100% growth over year. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. We'll see. Guys, I really do appreciate it. That road trip stuff. I don't know. It's just something I like to do road trips. Obviously, I've traveled essentially this entire country on the roads of America. in all sorts of vehicles, from fun to not fun at all. And I have been very fortunate with the ability to do a lot of road trip stuff, whether it's for myself or whether it's for Rich driving across the country for the jet skis. A lot of you probably have never even seen that video, but there's a 5-part video, 8-part, I don't know, several parts, where I drove all the way here from Columbus, Ohio, all the way across the country to pick up some jet skis and came back. And I did thousands of miles over like an 8-day period. But anyway, that's on here too if you want to see that. That's one of my more crazy road trips. But I've been fortunate with the fact that I'm able to do that kind of stuff. And I really do appreciate you guys all, I guess the word would be complimenting me in the comment section for doing what I did. But realistically, it's just I'm in a good situation with it where I'm able to do that. The shop is able to run without me in the shop quite a bit because we have a lot of other people here that can keep the wheels rolling. And a lot of what I do as far as the marketing side and the communication side, I can do when I'm on the road. So, when a crisis comes up or somebody is in need, whatever the situation is, I'm fortunately in that position to be able to hop in the car or hop in the truck and do a crazy drive. Now, I typically wouldn't want to do 1,100 miles in 18 and a half hours, but if I'm able to do it, a lot of you, if you are in the same position, if you were able to do it, if you didn't have responsibilities that trapped you in whatever your daily life thing is, a lot of you would do the same thing too. I'm just fortunate enough to be in a position where, I'm able to do that. So I do very much appreciate you guys. I appreciate the thank yous, but no thanks needed. Matt's a good dude, and I want to do everything I can for Matt. Same thing with almost any of our customers. We're willing to go that extra mile for just about anybody we can. Now, we don't typically want to go 1,100 miles for everybody, but sometimes that's what happens. So thank you very much for all of you showing up and chiming in here in the chats. This is our very first time ever doing a Lucore live, so I don't know if it's going to be interesting or not. Hopefully so. State of things for 2022. Obviously, we've got a lot of stuff still left on our plate. This is a 1969 Pontiac Le Mans convertible. You've never seen it, as far as I know, on the YouTube channel. This may be something you're going to see in the next few months. We've obviously got the Lotus Esprit video project that's still ongoing. That's going to be a extremely long-term, slightly nightmarish situation, but it's going to be cool eventually, we promise. We've got all kinds of crazy Capri stuff going on. We have the 74 Capri that you guys have seen. We have the 76 Capri donor car that you guys have seen. There are at least 1 or 2 other Capris that are in the wings that you guys will be seeing in 2022 that are not here yet. And engine builds galore for all of those things. Obviously, I have my AMX build that's going on still, my 79 AMX. Still not quite right. I'm actually going to be in here tomorrow working on it and filming some stuff with it so I can share that with you guys as well. Probably first part of the year. The rest of this year is pretty well booked up as far as what we can do. And then, the 70 Le Mans, it's outside the 455 yellow Le Mans. Just decided recently that it wants more money spent on it. So however much that that journey is going to cost, we'll see. Sometimes projects just don't want to be done, and that's that car. So that one's 2022. We've got Katrina's 1973 Dodge Charger, the 451 stroker. That motor is sitting right over yonder on an engine stand. And we just recently got last week our last pieces for the front suspension for that car, as well as some other pieces that she's going to be getting for Christmas. So shh, don't tell her, because Santa got her some Mopar parts. So once that stuff is done, we can move that car inside and get all that stuff transplanted and get that car ready to rock and roll. We got a bunch of diesel stuff, which, you guys typically are not what ready to drop a 401 in the AMX. Honestly, I can't even imagine that car with a 401 in it. It's fun where it is now. It makes like 170 at the tires. It's a fun little car. It's a fun little car. I cannot imagine that car with a really, really healthy 401. It would be probably just short of terrifying on it as a street car. Like that's a really little car to have that big of a angry motor in. So 401 probably not. But if you've been paying attention to the AMX project, I did disassemble a 1974 AMC Ambassador and stole the 360 out of it, and it is sitting at the machine shop. So that is getting built. That is going to be an option for the AMX. Maybe this coming year. We'll see. We'll see. And yes, I agree. Car parts are wonderful Christmas presents. I don't need anything because I've already spent way too much money on car parts, and I've got way too many projects of my own going on. But they're nice to give to people because they're going to have to spend the money anyway. So you might as well give them a gift of something they actually need instead of a tie or some socks or whatever. For all of you who have wished Merry Christmas and all of that fun stuff, happy holidays to all of you. Merry Christmas from all of us here. Our work weeks are very short this week and next week. So we can spend a lot of time with our families and do a lot of the holiday stuff. So hopefully you guys have all got great holiday plans yourselves because we can actually do holiday stuff this year, which will be nice. Anyway, as far as the project stuff goes, we've got a ton of stuff to do. We actually have something, if you saw in the PRI video, there was a car that we kind of featured on the day 3 video. I think the day 3 video that we did a little bit of a feature with. It's actually produced down the street about 5 miles on the left. And we're going to get an opportunity to show that thing off to you guys quite a bit more here in the very near future. So that could be something you guys are going to really interested in. I am super interested in it. I really want us to get a lot more event stuff, a lot more track stuff for you guys. I love doing track stuff. I've done track stuff all over the place. Road course stuff, drag racing, street racing, autocross racing, you name it. I've done all kinds of stuff. So I want to be able to get more of that to be able to share with you guys. It's something that I like to do, and I think you guys would like to see it. And we can give our own little personal spin on it. Obviously, we're not going to focus the channel on that because the channel needs to be more focused on actual automotive stuff. But we do plan on sharing a lot more of that stuff. We've got trips and stuff coming up that should be pretty cool for you guys to watch that you guys will hopefully like. Put a 390 crank in the 304. That 304 is probably pretty much how it's going to be honest. We're not going to really take it apart because that was really done as a budget build. Now, doing something to the 360 block that we have is certainly an opportunity. I'm not ruling anything out with that 360 build. That could be aluminum heads. That could be a stroker setup. That could be, I don't know. But I feel like the 304 needed to be a budget build because nobody really builds like high-powered 304s. There's a reason for that. Building a good stout 304, and there are still going to be some upgrades to that 304. But I don't think I want to get crazy on it. It doesn't make sense because nobody would really do that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute about trying to differentiate what we do versus some other stuff. But we try to keep things realistic, I guess would be the way to say it. We try to keep things what you guys would do. That's one thing that I think a lot of the, and I don't want to get too much off topic here, but I think that's one of the things that a lot of other channels and shows have done a bad job of, not necessarily a bad job of, but have done a disservice to their viewership by going to unbelievably expensive builds with provided sponsored parts and, stuff that us normal people would never be able to do or work on or want to or own. We don't like $100,000 hot rods here. You see our work all the time on all kinds of stuff. We don't like $100,000 hot rods because nobody drives $100,000 hot rods. At least most people don't drive $100,000 hot rods because then you're worried about it all the time. Your paint that you just spent $1 bazillion on, you're worried about it when you're parked out getting ice cream. You're worried about a bird pooping on it. You're worried about a ding, all of those things, those massive expensive motors that, you've got all kinds of bling all over them. Most of those guys never drive that stuff. And we really love to focus on the driving stuff. The Power Tour is coming up again this coming year. We're 100% going to be on Power Tour. Now, whether or not that AMX goes, whether or not the 70 Pontiac goes, whether or not the Capri goes, one of the Capris, whether or not the Charger goes, whether all of them go. We've got Rich's Buick that can go. We've got all kinds of toys that can go. That kind of stuff. Like, we love doing that because it's things that you guys own. It's not, they're 10, 15, 20, $30,000 hot rods. It's not like you have to sell a house to buy a car. And that stuff's that's what we love. That's what we want to share with you guys. So lots and lots and lots of that coming up in 2022. And obviously we are a shop. So there's a ton of customer stuff coming in. We have a square body C10 that's sitting outside. If you follow us on Instagram, LucoreRacing, shameless plug for our Instagram. You possibly have seen this motor and transmission sitting around the shop for a while now, because it's a square body C10 that we're going to build. Everybody loves a C10. So, Mark, you'll know the answer to that very shortly. But a square body C10, everybody loves a square body C10. Whether it does, whether it does any good for us on the videos, I don't know. The 55 Chevy videos we did, nobody cared. And I asked actually in our community tab on here, and the reason everybody gave me was, we've all seen it, which, after thinking about it, yeah, everybody's seen like the big dollar 55 Chevy builds, makes sense. Same thing with like a really good quality C10 square body build. There's a lot of them out there. So, we understand that. And it is the weird stuff that we're kind of known for, not necessarily even just the YouTube stuff. Like, this shop is kind of known for the weird, the odd, the nobody else will work on it kind of thing. That's kind of where we come in. So yeah. So let me look at some comments here. The Miata thing is actually kind of funny that you bring that up. We actually have our younger guy here used to own a Miata. He bought one and he wanted to use it as a track car and used it once. We did a video of that, and then ended up the timing wasn't right. When you're a young guy, it's not a great time to build a race car. But there is another Miata very possibly in his near future that's going to be interesting. We'll see about that. Yeah, the last Capri, that 76 is in rough shape. The doors actually are really good shape. The glass is all in really good shape. A lot of the trim is there. A lot of parts are there. It's got a lot of pieces that somebody would want, but not us. So, Gustav, I don't know if you know about the Scooby-Doo van outside, but there is a Scooby-Doo van outside. There's a small block Scooby-Doo van outside that may get some attention at some point in time if we can figure out where to squeeze that into the conversation about 2022. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy stuff for us to work on. The AMC stuff, because that's my own personal project, I've got to be reasonably gentle on budgeting. I'm paying for those parts, so I can't really just spend tons and tons of money on it. So anyway, on to my third point. The thing I wanted to transition this into is automotive shop with a YouTube channel versus automotive YouTube channel with a shop. Now, let me preface this with, I am not trying to throw stones at anybody. I'm not trying to pick a fight with anybody. I'm not trying to start a feud with anybody. I'm not trying to do anything beyond just have a conversation. And the conversation I want to have is this. We are a actual functioning automotive repair shop. We do brake jobs, oil changes, suspensions. We work on a lot of classic cars. We work on a lot of cool cars, but this is an actual functional automotive shop. Our number one job at the end of the day is to take care of these people that come to this shop that need work done on their vehicles. That's, for everything, number one priority. The YouTube thing is more of an issue, is more for us a way to be able to show off some of what we do, to be able to show some of our customers what goes into their projects and into their builds. And it honestly is a commercial for what we do. As weird as that sounds, this is kind of a commercial for us. It allows us to have a direct communication to our customers and to our potential customers about what we do, what we will do for them, and what we have done for them. So it's a transparency issue. There's a lot of things, let's be honest here. I'm sure a lot of you people who are watching this are fellow wrenchers, your fellow mechanics, and there are a lot of bad apples in our industry. It's really easy to ruin a reputation in the automotive world. It's very hard to protect one, or to grow one in a positive way. It's all it takes is one or two massive screw ups, and you can bury yourself in a business. So we're very, very proud of our reputation. The one that we have built over the years, even before all this YouTube stuff, was we own, or we do our very best to own the quality of our work, and we wanted to show that off. So that's what the YouTube thing became. Now it has kind of morphed over the last 2 years or so to becoming its own thing, as far as it's actually generating revenue now, versus just a means of showing to our customers what we do, or to potential customers what we do. So, but first and foremost, we are an automotive shop. We actually do have people that call on a pretty reasonable basis almost every day, who have seen our stuff online, either on YouTube or on Instagram, LucoreRacing on Instagram, shameless plug, and want, suspension work done. They want brakes done. They want whatever done. That's what we do. That's why we're putting these videos out there, because we're trying to feed the beast that is the actual shop that's here. And that's different than a lot of things that you see online that are YouTube channels. Again, not trying to throw stones, not trying to bite the hand that feeds us, none of that. But a lot of those people are YouTubers that are automotive focused, but they make their living off of YouTube. You guys watching, and the ad revenue that they make off there, or the t-shirts they sell, or the merchandise they sell, or the paid visits that they do, or whatever the case may be. They are YouTube stars that are automotive focused. They are almost to a T, not an actual shop with a YouTube channel. So their focus is a little bit different. They're getting sponsored parts a lot of the time. So, they're going to be able to talk about, this is the greatest part since sliced bread. This is the greatest drink of all time. You should drink it too. We don't have to do that because we're an actual shop. So we don't have to do that. Now, we have asked in the past week or so about whether or not you guys want to see us do any kind of actual legit customer reviews. I mean, I think we did one a couple of days back with the Pontiac Vibe GT and some floor cleaning product. That was just we made a mess. Let's test some floor cleaning product. We already had some sitting here, so make a video about it. And that's something we may do. That's really up to you guys. You're the ones that are watching this stuff. If it's something you want to see, great. If it's not something you want to see, we won't do it. It is what it is. But the reason I bring that up is we are able to help out some of our customers that are YouTubers, because it does help us out. And let's all be honest about that. A lot of these people are good people, and they're people we had relationships before, all of this stuff anyway. But, they have a reach that we don't necessarily have. And a lot of you, I'm sure, that are in this chat or that are watching this video have come from other people's YouTube channels. Whether or not it's from the SRC family, or it's the DNR guys, or it's Junkyard Digs, or it's Tim's Enthusiast Garage, or it's the PRI or the Power Tour, wherever you saw us. A lot of what we've developed is because of the fact that we can network with those people, and we can help some of them with some of their projects, and we can go a little bit above and beyond, because we're in a situation where we can, and because that revenue comes back to us from, you guys watching our videos, and us, being able to, me being able to go to Rich and say, hey, look, we're going to make, $100 off this video. Can I spend that $100 on doing a favor for somebody? So that's realistically where that is. That money, to be honest, the YouTube revenue that we make is not a lot. But it is starting to become measurable, and become impactful. So, going into 2022, knock on wood, that things continue to grow as they do. But going into 2022, if that revenue continues to grow, we can continue to turn that YouTube revenue around and invest it in projects, so that I'm not spending my own money and Rich isn't spending his own money. We're spending Google's money for you guys watching us do stuff. or to be able to help out people that we work with. Not really sponsorships, because we're not Penske. That's not us. But being able to assist people, jump in the truck and be able to run back and forth for somebody, or help out on something here and there, or whatever the case may be. That YouTube revenue can go to cover those expenses, versus we have to eat off of our YouTube revenue. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Again, I'm not trying to throw stones at people that are YouTubers, that they live off of their YouTube on their automotive stuff. Several of them are friends of ours, and I appreciate them, and I'm super excited that they've had success for what they do. We're just a little bit different, and you're going to notice that in our content, because we don't necessarily always produce the stuff that's going to be like the big hit stuff. We're going to put out videos that are not, it's not the top 2 things that you want to watch on our channel, because we are focused 100% on our customers, our actual physical customers that come into the shop. The YouTube thing is something we're glad to share with you guys, and we're glad you enjoy it. But it is not our main focus. It is a ancillary part of our business that is growing and can open some interesting doors. I've joked with a bunch of people, if you've ever talked with me personally about this stuff, I make a lot of bad decisions with my own money, and Rich is guilty of it as well. We joke about some of this stuff as being the church of bad decisions. Shirt coming soon. But we're making bad decisions with our own money. And if we can get to the point where the YouTube thing is really starting to generate money, it's a little bit terrifying, the idea of being able to make bad decisions with somebody else's money just for making YouTube videos, which could be really cool. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about with that stuff. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much for helping us grow. All you guys in the comments, I want to try to pay attention here. You New Zealand guys, actually, I would say that that's probably one of the most exciting things for us. Is we, up until very recently, were almost exclusively United States and Canada viewership-wise. When we bought that Capri, we had no idea how international that viewership would go. We knew, they were cool cars. We'd seen them on TV, but we had absolutely no idea how many people from New Zealand and Australia and Norway and Sweden and England and South America and literally like freaking everywhere. It's mind-boggling how much that car has spread out and developed a watching base for our channel that we never expected to get. We will do our very best to continue to make interesting content for you guys, so it's not just all like classic old American hot rods. We can keep focused on that Capri stuff. We're going to try to do one every 2 weeks, at least at this point in time. We've still got a ton to do. So, but yeah, we were not expecting that at all. Huge shout out to Kevin Junkyard Diggs for giving us that spot on his video and helping a huge portion of our growth over 2021. The Junkyard Diggs family of people that followed over here from that video were insane. Like there's literally no other word to say it but insane. But thank you guys so much for coming over and for supporting our channel and helping us do what we do. So, yeah, Mark, it's the weird thing is, and I know you've heard this before, but like doing what you love to do is not like working, which is total BS, by the way, because if you do what you love to do for work, the saying is you'll never work a day in your life, and that's completely not true. You'll work every day of your life. I am a hot rod guy. I've been for a long, long time. Rich is a wrenching hot rod guy. We do this stuff every day. So whether or not we're getting paid for it or not, it is what it is. But the idea that we can now make revenue off of being able to share the stupid stuff that we do with you guys and then get money off that from Google just for doing it, that we can then spend their money instead of spending our hard-earned money, that's actually really cool. So, yeah. Peter, I appreciate that. We're kind of trying to find a balance on the whole, like, how to do it kind of thing. We don't necessarily want to become like a how-to channel. And we want to make it entertaining and educational, but not, massively educational and not entertaining at all. We're still balancing that out. If you see a lot of our older videos, they're really long and there's a lot of time lapse and a lot of, like, turn this bolt, turn that bolt, turn this bolt, turn that bolt, which are not particularly watchable probably. So we've learned a lot of lessons over the time. So George, we appreciate that. We're always looking for new work to work on. We appreciate you guys liking the honesty. That's one thing we try very much. Even if it's pie on the face, even if we screw up, you're going to see it. You're going to see me break something expensive in a very upcoming episode that was total pie on my face. So it is what it is. Hey, we're closed. 7:15 at night. Jeez. Do we do diesel and heavy truck work anymore? Yes. Yes, there are 2 diesels in here currently. We do a ton of 6-liter diesel, specifically a lot of Ford stuff. 6-liter, 6.4s, 7.3s, 6.7s. We do a lot of that stuff. It's just not something that a lot of people tend to like watch on our channel. It's not sexy, I guess, maybe. I don't know. It's the same thing with our import stuff. We built a lot of really cool imports and nobody cares. Like that LS swapped RX-7 we built. Nobody really cared. The 2J swap Mark III Supra didn't really go anywhere. The Turbo IS300 Lexus that we did, awesome car. I mean, it was kind of our first thing that reasonably did well on YouTube, but generally speaking, it's not a big thing. So it just doesn't get a lot of show on our YouTube channel. I mean, I have actually 2 videos that are our diesel trucks that we're cutting together right now. We'll put them up, but they're things that don't really get a lot of love. Best kit to do an LS swap into a 96 Cadillac Fleetwood. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. And honestly, one thing you may not have noticed is we do not do a lot of LS swap stuff. Peter, that's a good point. But if you answer the phone late at night, you end up in a very long phone call. I've learned that lesson. But we don't do a lot of LS swap stuff. We kind of tend to keep like our old school stuff, old school. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's anything at all. LSs are great. They're cheap. They're incredible for making power. They're very, very useful motors. It's just not really our flavor, to be honest. We do enjoy bringing, things like this back to life, and it's all Pontiac under the hood. It's just our thing. Not saying that you can't do an LS swap on your Cadillac Fleetwood. I would say a big 6-liter LS with twin turbos on it would fit perfectly under the hood of a Cadillac Fleetwood. Anyway, so we can do it. I love tots. Well, good for you. Aren't you exciting? Pew! Put this user in timeout. Anyway, so moving on. Merchandise. This is a quick conversation I want to have with you guys. A bunch of people have asked us to do merchandise. For us, that's really, really weird. Because we're an automotive shop, and it seems odd for us to want to do a t-shirt or hoodie or something for you guys to wear. This is something that I had my airbrush artist friend do. We have our work shirts, our blue work shirts that we wear. But that's it. We're not flashy. We're just an automotive shop. We're not, the idea that somebody would want to wear something with our stuff on it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So, we have some possible ideas as far as, what do you guys want to see as far as that stuff goes? because it's an awkward conversation. It feels a little bit like we're tooting our own horns, I guess, maybe. Like, hey, we're, hot stuff. Here's our t-shirt. We're not Gas Monkey Garage. We're not like, I don't know. Okay, I mentioned Gas Monkey Garage. Be like, a lot of those people they're marketing companies. They're marketing people. It's a marketing project. That's the reason that it existed. It's not a automotive thing. It's a marketing thing. That's not what we do. So, can we do a hide this user? Pew! Can we do shirts? Yeah. I mean, let us know what you guys want to do. Do you want like the ability to buy our wrenching shirts? The stuff that we get greasy on a daily basis? Do you want like projects we've worked on shirts or hats or hoodies or whatever? Do you want like the AMX? Do you want the 70 Pontiac? Do you want the 73 Charger? Do you want a smorgasbord of different stuff that's on the same shirt? I don't know. Honestly, that's something we're kind of weighing. Ken, the neat thing is I actually have a history in IT, so dealing with one little schmuck in a live chat, I'm pretty good with it. No big deal. Yeah, Robert, Capri racing shirts, especially once we get the damn car done, definitely could be interesting. Ken, I appreciate that. Do you want just like the Lucore logo, like our normal shirt logo, or do you want like the garage door logo? I don't know. It's an awkward conversation for us to have because we don't, if it's something you guys want, we're certainly willing to do it. Put it in the comments for the video once this is published. And let us know what you guys want to see, because we're certainly open to it. If it's something you guys want, we just don't want it to seem like, hey, shaking the hat, buy my shirts, buy my hats kind of thing. If you guys want stuff, cool, we'll make it. If not, recovery from Matt's. Yeah. We do give stuff to our customers. If they've done a project with us, they get stuff that, we'll make custom stuff for them. I don't know if you've seen much of this in our videos, but when we finish off a project, we have my airbrush guy, Jonathan Kinney, will do a custom airbrushed. I don't think I have any of them here. A custom airbrushed helmet with kind of the scheme of their car, or actually their car, on the helmet. You'll actually see that in a video here very soon. I just got a helmet back from him. So that's kind of something that we do as like a thank you to our customers that do stuff through us. So yeah. Shameless self-promotion, really not something we really want to get involved in. So I don't know. It's just, it's something that people have asked about. And we want to do what we can to make you guys happy. You're the ones that watch our videos, and, the more you watch, the more we get to have play money and do whatever, make bad decisions for 2022. So, if it's something you guys want to see, I don't know. Like I said, drop it in the comment section below. Let me know what you want. We'll do our best to be able to come up with something as far as, swag for 2022. I do have a couple of ideas that I think might be interesting. Just kind of sayings we have around the shop or situations we've been in. One of you guys brought up the power tour. I think it was before that Mo Ron was spamming the chat. Yeah, Mike, my son and I were in the pickup with the pillar gauges on the way back. As we were literally driving back the very end of the night. I think you were the very last thing in the entire video. I don't know if you go back and you watch the when we were in Indianapolis, Ray Hall's place. I think when we were in Indianapolis, We had a little burnout area that was back there, and there's a young kid that had a sign, had to do a burnout on it. I've actually got a shirt coming that I've been kicking around in my brain for a long time. Even if I just make one for me and make one for the kid and the dad of the kid, I think that's going to be a really cool shirt. So I've got something coming for that. We can make some pretty simple shirts with just like, the Lucore badge on the front and then Lucore garage door logo on the back. That's certainly something easy we could do. If that's something you guys want to have, we can certainly make that kind of stuff happen. We have shirts for all of us individual guys or people that have built vehicles here. They each get shirts whenever we wrap it up, so that whenever they're out, they have a shirt that shows off whatever it is that they did. So anyway, those are the things that I really wanted to talk about. Quick recap. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for 2021. It ended up being the best year we've ever had actually in the shop, which is weird because this has been a challenging year. And obviously our YouTube channel went crazy from 5,000 to 21,000 subscribers. So huge thank you to all of you guys for that. Tons of projects coming up. The Mama's Mopar. We've got the 70 Pontiac. We've got 69 Pontiac. We got a 68 Pontiac sitting in the backyard that we haven't even started on. That's going to eventually be a race car. The AMX. We've got that Lincoln that's sitting there. We got that Lotus that's sitting there. We got a square body C10 that's sitting outside. We've got stuff with the Fields Automotive guys coming up. We've got racetrack stuff. We got all kinds of stuff going on in 2022. It's going to be an incredible year. I am super excited for 2022. We're going to get to show all kinds of cool stuff and be able to do a lot of cool stuff. And you know what? The best part about it is I get to pay with my YouTube revenue. Like literally that entire trip that we went down to Georgia and got to see that crazy Capri blasting around the track with Norm, paid for by YouTube revenue. So thank all of you for all of that. Much appreciated. Again, the automotive YouTube channel versus automotive shop with YouTube. There's a difference there. I hope I explained that, and I hope I didn't make anybody angry. Donald, you're welcome. And that's actually a very honest conversation to have. I had somebody, and I don't even remember, it may have been you, that asked, what were the negotiations behind the scene with the whole DNR Auto thing? Well, obviously we know Matt and DNR Auto through SRC. He connected with us because SRC trusts us to do a lot of their suspension work and all their other stuff. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing for us. When you have somebody like Bill Sr., he said it in his own videos, like, we're the only people that he allows to work on that vehicle other than him and his direct family. That's a huge thing. That's a huge bit of trust, to be trusted with something that's, that's a 3 generations car. That's how we got in touch with Matt, was from that. And he was in a situation where, he needed some help with some stuff, and we knew that we could probably help him out, and he could probably, give us another access to better growth on our channel. And he did pay his bill. Just to be honest with you, he didn't get all of this stuff for free. But we're able to do some of the things that we do and go a little bit further than what we could normally do, because there is revenue that's going to come in off of the YouTube channel. We could kind of put that in his pot to pay his tab, if that makes sense. Let's say that a video with Matt makes $200. Well, that's pretty easy to track. $200, stick that on top of his tab, and then he doesn't, have to spend that $200. So that's how we basically make that work. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm trying to be as honest as I possibly can be, because that's, what we try to do here. So, but, again, as we grow the channel and as the revenue comes in, it's going to allow us to do more and more of that, not just with our own stuff and our own projects, but it's going to be allowing us to help other people grow and do things that they want to do on their own stuff. Whether it's more stuff with Street Racing Channel or DNR Auto, or yeah, honestly, Jeff, it essentially paid for basically the entire fuel trip down and back. I used 3 tanks of gas, and it hasn't quite paid for that yet, but pretty dang close. So, that's honestly exactly why, that's exactly right. We're sharing some content with you guys. We're able to do something for somebody else, and it all comes out in the wash. Do good things for good people. We're giving you guys some content. We're able to help people move forward, and it's all kind of paid for by the entertainment, which hopefully makes sense and is not totally off-putting for you guys. But it's not like we're living like kings over here with our YouTube revenue. We don't make that much money. Now, I will maybe a little hat in the hand. The videos that make a lot of money are not a lot of money, but the videos that make decent money are the ones that are focused on those race cars. Our normal daily driver stuff doesn't really make very much money. So if you guys have a spare, 10 minutes or so on Mondays and Fridays to watch another video that comes out that's maybe not all that sexy, we do appreciate that because it helps us grow that other stuff as well. Anyway, so let's do a little bit of Q&A here real quick. I've already gone way too long. I want to talk about here. Peter, thank you very much. We try to do as good a work as we possibly can and try to be as honest as we possibly can. Seen the cars you drive and like to work on. What about Rich? Oh, Darren. What about Rich? So the 65 C10 shop truck. Not sure if you've seen that. We don't really focus on that much. That's Rich's. He has a 65 Buick Grand Sport with a 455 stage 1 in it. He has a Jeep. He has the church van. He has the diesel 6-liter Excursion. He has a couple of other toys. He has a fleet of Buick Rivieras, which you will eventually see something of. 63, 64 Buick Rivieras. We've got a number of those sitting around here. But his number one addiction is not automotive. It's jet skis. It is 100% jet skis. And let me prove this point by showing you. There's a jet ski there. You see that there? And there's a jet ski there. And up here on the top of the stairs. Can you see that up there? Right there. That's a super rare jet ski. And there's a few more sitting around here. That's his addiction. Is not necessarily cars. He gets to play with everybody else's toys. That's he and I joke about all the time. Is he doesn't have to buy toys because he gets to work on everybody else's. Everybody else brings them over here for us to fix and work on and go out and beat on them and make sure they're okay. So why does he need to buy his own when he could just to play with ours? So it's a very valid point. Let's see here. What else? Yes. That was a very long day. It started at I think 9:30. I left the shop. I think it was 9:30, 9:45. And I got home at 4:20 in the morning, 4:15 in the morning, something like that. So yeah, it was a long day. 1,100 miles, thereabouts. It was a long day, but at the end of the day, it got done what needed to get done, and there was no other way it could happen. So it just needed to be done. So get in the car and do it. There's really nothing else I could say about that. I appreciate that. It's I make that comment in the comment section a lot, especially on the stuff where I went to go, to Delaware for Matt. I appreciate the compliments. I really don't want to. I don't want to say something that makes me sound conceited, but be the change that you want to see. It's rough to find people that are willing to go way above and beyond for somebody else just because. most people are really into it for themselves or for their own personal gain or whatever the case may be. Now, let's be honest, we did make enough revenue to be able to cover the gas for the truck, essentially, to be able to go down there and back. But we didn't really gain anything out of that. And it wasn't really for that. It was Matt was in a really sticky situation, and we were in a position to be able to help. So do it. Now a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. Now, yeah, most people wouldn't be able to do that. But we were uniquely able to, and we're more than happy we were able to get that done for him. Same thing with Billy in running up to North Dakota to go get his motor. That was a situation where he was in a bad spot, and we were capable of letting me out of the building, and Rich was cool enough to let me leave. So hop in the truck and head north. It's not something we could do all the time. But when something comes up and it needs to happen, if we're in a situation where we can help. And that doesn't have to be that big thing. It could be the small thing, like, going to pick up a customer's vehicle that's, broken for something that we didn't do, or something, that maybe if we can help somebody on site that's just down the road, or somebody stops by and it just needs, a little bit of help with a little bit of something, those little small things affect change, make those small things that can affect change can affect at a much larger level. I don't know if I said that right, but it's those little things that you can do that can really make a lot of changes. And all it takes is, the first few people to start making those extra little efforts, and whatever. Yeah. Karma, pay it forward, however you want to look at it. It's just one of those, like, we want to see the world be a better place. We want to see more people going out of their way to be able to help each other. We want to see people happier and being able to enjoy stuff, so if we want to see that in other people, we have to mirror it first. So. LS powered Nissan hardbody. Holy crap. I mean, we certainly could. That's a lot of power in a little tiny body, but yeah, sure. In the Nissan world, hey, if you're interested in buying a Nissan, weird little Nissan project, I happen to have one. It's one of my own bad decisions that I'd be willing to sell you at a heck of a price. I have a Nissan Sentra SER Spec V sitting in the backyard that hasn't been touched in like 3 years, and I have a brand new motor sitting on an engine stand and a transmission sitting on an engine stand. And it's already wheels and tires and a bunch of other stuff, but that's a topic for another day. We'll have a whole video about bad decisions that we have sitting around here that we need to just move on and let somebody else deal with. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a heck of a drive. What's funny is I actually had just been up there. I don't know if you saw that part in that video, but the 2500 road trip we do every year, which a lot of you probably never seen this. So let me clarify first. Every year, myself and some other people that I know, and you guys are more than welcome to do your own version of this, but we buy $2,500 used cars and we go on a 2,500-mile road trip. The first one we did, we went from Columbus, Ohio to Devil's Tower, Wyoming and back. Amazing trip, tons of fun, total drama a little bit, but it was an incredible experience. And that's actually where my very first Volvo wagon, that whole process came from, was that Volvo wagon. That ended up being just 3 of us. And then the following year we did, which was 2020. Yeah. The second one we did, which was 2020, we did from Columbus all the way up through Michigan, across the UP, up through Minnesota, and then all the way back down. And that was our 2020 2,500 road trip. And we ended up with like 6 cars, I think, on that. And that was a ton of fun because $2,500 is feasible for most people who are kind of automotive enthusiasts. You can go out and get yourself a $2,500 car, or spend up to $2,500 on it, buying it and fixing it, and then drive it 2,500 miles. Do it in over like a 5 or 6 day period. It's not abusive driving, but it's still, stress testing, but it gives you a chance to see a lot of really cool stuff around the country. So anyway, I say that to say this, that the trip up to western Minnesota, eastern North Dakota for the SRC motor, I literally had just turned right back around, went right back up through that area that I had just been in like weeks before. So that's why I ended up stopping at the Electric Fetus in Minneapolis to get myself some CDs. So cool trip. Nice people, super nice people. Really, really flat land up there. Hey, beanies, dude, let me know what you want on a beanie. You want just like something like this, like our garage door logo? Let me know what you want. We can make it happen. Status on the Ford Capri project. Hopefully you watched the most recent video where we tore down the donor 2.8 out of the 76. That one. This is how current these videos are, by the way. These don't go into like limbo to not get on live. That's the motor we just tore down last week. There are the heads and all of the various parts, and the transmission still sitting back there on the floor. So very fresh content going on here. At the moment, the block is cleaned and prepped. We have some high compression pistons that have been dropped off. He is pressing the wrist pins and rods and pistons together. We're then going to be bringing all that stuff back, which will probably be first of the year. I don't think we're going to get a hold of that block this year. I think it's going to be first week of the year. That will come back. We're going to test fit the crank rods pistons in that block to see what our height is, whether or not we need to cut the deck to be able to get the compression we want. We are actually still kind of hunting a set of heads, which is kind of a complicated conversation because the ones that came off the 76 are EGR heads, and we don't want to use those. The heads that we dropped off at the machine shop already are good. And they're actually too good because they've been milled a little bit already, and they've already got hardened valve seats cut in them. So we're going to be using some racing valves from Team Blitz. Norm at Team Blitz hooked us up on a set of racing valves for the 2.8s. In order to use those, we would have to redo the head job on those heads that are already sitting up there, which doesn't make any sense. So what we're looking for is a set of non-reworked heads that are 2.8s that are non-EGR, which is hopefully those heads, which we will be taking apart here probably in the next day or two, seeing if we can use those heads to be able to replace or to build the set of race car heads that we want to use for that. Because the idea with that motor is we're going to build like a 10.5 to 1 compression NA, cast iron headed 4-barrel manifold, reasonably high compression, reasonably high revving 2.8 V6. Should make, I don't know, somewhere maybe 200 horsepower. Maybe, probably not, but that's the idea with that one at this point. Then there's also, as I said earlier in the video, I don't know if you were here for that, but there is a lot of other Capri craziness that's going on because apparently everybody wants to see us do Capri stuff. So there are at least 2 other Capris other than that 76 parts donor that you're going to see in the very, very near future. One of which I'm waiting on my passport to come back for. That will be coming here as well because this Capri project is spiraling out of control quickly. So there's a whole lot to talk about with Capris. We are going to become Capri heaven, I think, here, especially with having Norm like 45 minutes away from Team Blitz. He and I were texting earlier today. There's a lot of crazy stuff coming on. I don't know if you saw from from the PRI video that we were connecting with the BDS blower guys because there's something that's a really good possibility happening there. That will also go in a Capri. So, yeah. Ron, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. How do you feel on engine tuning using running compression tests with scope data? Not sure what you mean, Bill. Compression test wise, using scope data. I don't know what you mean. Give me some clarification there. I honestly don't know what you mean. Spain, 75 Mark II 3-liter Gia. You know, I really wish that we had gotten better options on those Capris because they're really like, you had kind of like crappy option V6 Bo, Rich is at home. It's 7:45 on a weekday night. Rich is at home with his family. That man spends time with his family, and he is not in here working late at nights. He does occasionally come in on the weekends or in the evenings, but otherwise, that man is at home with his family. And that's one of the reasons he has me here, is because I can do this kind of stuff and it doesn't, land on Rich's plate. But the Capri's really just never had a great engine that came here. Like in Europe and all over the place, they had all kinds of different motors that were available from them, and they just never